Hello. I thought I would come and share with you the thing that you need to master to succeed in sales. I've been working with a lot of people in my six-figure profit plan and also in my free group Life Transformed, and realized that a lot of people were lacking something that I did naturally. So now I've learned that I need to teach people this skill because it's one that you will need to succeed in sales. Now, here's the thing. People are like, sales, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be spammy. I don't want to be gross. Then choose not to be those things, right? Sales don't have to be slimy. It all comes down to your intention. It comes down to your intention if you are out for the sale to make a buck, or if you actually care about people and want to help. There's a completely different conversation that goes on when you're just after the sale versus when you're actually here to help people and solve a problem that they have. Hey, Stephanie, nice to see you, girl. I'm so happy that you're on live, okay? So it's the intention. When you speak with somebody, is it because you want to help them, or is it because you want to make money? Now, what I can tell you from experience is the more people you help, from the bottom of your heart, the more money you make. Right? High tides raise all ships. So we bring people with us. We educate them. We show them, how to build a business. We show them how to talk to people. But your conversation, the conversation that you're having with people, that's what will make the sale. Are you talking about the sale first thing, right? What you have to sell? Or are you taking the time to learn about somebody? Are you letting them tell their story? Are you taking time to ask questions, or are you educating them on what you think they need? That's going to change everything for you once you realize that all you have to do is go through an interview process and figure out, what do they need in their life that I can help them with today? How can I make their life easier? How can I make their life better? What information can I share that will change the way that they see this? Because if you learn how to have the proper conversations, people will be excited. They will be grateful. They will be motivated to move forward with you. But if they can tell that that sale is happening because you have a goal to hit, because you want to move forward in your business, because you want to make money instead of helping them, they will see right through it. And so I know that there are so many people out there that are sharing scripts, and I think that that's a really great way to get started if you follow the right person. Because I can tell you, I followed the wrong scripts before. I've been given scripts by somebody that I trusted and followed the wrong scripts and sounded terrible, and I didn't know any better. But what I like to do is teach people concepts over scripts. Right? Skip the script and let's teach you how to talk to people. Let's teach you how to have a conversation, right? How would you sit down and talk to your hairstylist? I think that this is one of the reasons that I love this conversation so much, is because if people sat down in my chair when I used to do hair, I'd say, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your family life. Do you have any kids? Do you have any pets? What do you do on the weekends? What motivates you? What did you do in 2020? What was the best part of 2020 for you? Who did you listen to for advice? Who did you surround yourself with in 2020? Have you had to pivot? Have you had to do something different? It's a different conversation when I put somebody first. So many people will word vomit as soon as somebody gives them a little space in and they're like, hey, what do you do for a living? They'll word vomit all over them and say, well, I do this and I do this and I do this. By the way, I messed this up when I first got into online sales, online marketing. I sent an email to my entire list, my entire salon list, on recommendation that I educated them on what I was doing. I didn't go about it the right way because, number one, I didn't learn how to speak to people, how to speak to different personality types, and I assumed that everybody made decisions the same way that I did. They weighed the pros and their cons, what makes sense and what doesn't. And obviously, you go with what makes more sense for you and your family, what makes you more money, right? But when I realized that that wasn't the only way that people made decisions based on facts and information. They made decisions based on community and culture. They made decisions based on their own personal goals or how much fun they could have, right? There are many different reasons why people make decisions, but if you don't understand the language that they're speaking and what motivates them, you'll never be able to move that conversation forward. This is definitely something that I am focusing on in the six-figure profit plan, and one that I have, some information on in our Life Transform group. If you haven't gotten into that group, it's a free group on Facebook. You're more than welcome to join it and help you with some of these conversations, how to grow your network, right? How to get people to like and follow you. How do you do that, right? There's information in that group for you. How to have a conversation that takes them from a follower to a friend, or a friend to a customer, or a friend to a team member. How do you have those conversations? I want to teach you how to have them so they don't feel gross and slimy. I want to teach you how to have them because you know why you do what you do. You know in your heart that you feel good about it, because if you didn't feel good about it, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't stand behind it. But now it's your job to figure out how to have a conversation that converts, that they hear correctly, right, in their language. What's going to motivate them to move on it? What's going to motivate them to help themselves? When you learn how to have that conversation, it changes things. The other thing that I highly recommend as part of your conversation is your storytelling skills. How many stories have you collected over the past decade? By the way, nobody else can tell your life story. There are things in your life that you have gone through. There are experiences that you've had that nobody else can speak to. I actually saw a really great post from my friend Afia, and she posted about this one time she went to do a conference, and the whole hotel was booked out for a rodeo, and she was the only Black woman that was staying there. When she got there, they said, "Honey, do you got the wrong hotel?" And she embraced that experience, learned a lot, right? In those moments where we feel like we have to step outside of our comfort zone, that we have to do something different, that we have to adjust, in those moments we learn something. And if you can be a story collector throughout your life for things that you've overcome, right? Challenges that you've overcome, experiences that you've had. But if you want to take that even one step further, you can become a story collector of others. So you can listen to people who have product testimonies, service testimonies, who rave about working with you, right? Other people's stories are going to sell more than you trying to pitch your business or product. So you tell stories. I would tell a story if I was talking to somebody about a business and saying, "Hey, do you want to start a side business?" I wouldn't tell them my story necessarily because it's not typical. I would tell them the story of my friend Kirby, who I met when I was going to the dentist, because I hate the dentist. I go like once every 4 years. Don't tell anybody. I've never had any cavities, but I just don't do it. I don't like it. I find it invasive and it's scary. But I go because I'm an adult every 4 years. So I met Kirby the first time I went, and Kirby was the first person who ever took interest in me, who showed me how to floss correctly, who was super kind and educational when I was in there, when I told her I was nervous and I didn't like it. So Kirby and I started talking, and Kirby got involved in the business that I'm in because lo and behold, she was looking to make some more money and have some more time freedom so that she didn't have to work 2 jobs as a dental hygienist, just one, right? So we started talking. In that first month, Kirby blew through the ranks and made $1,000 in her first month with no experience, no sales experience, no nothing. She simply plugged into the system and executed what we told her to do, right? We had another girl come in August. She came from Montreal. Her very first month, she's a teacher. She's never done anything like this before. She came in, she plugged into the system, was super coachable and asking lots of really good questions. In her first month, she brought in 67 customers and did about $3,500 in commission. Why? Because she was coachable, she was willing, she was hungry. So I look for those people and then I share their stories. I don't say, "Hey, you come in, you can make $1,000 a week, like $2,000. Like, no, stop doing that. Share other people's success stories. What about your product? What amazing product stories do you have to share with people? Are you interviewing them on live video? Are you telling their story in your story? Are you telling their story in a post? Are you showing results to share with other people, giving them social proof, right? Instead of just trying to close them yourself without having a conversation. When you make other people more important than you and your message, when you learn about them and build trust in relationships, that will absolutely change the game in how you sell and how you're seen as a salesperson, right? We all know that person coming from a mile away that you're like, oh, I got to avoid them. I'm coming to the grocery store and I'm like, I'm just going to go get groceries later, right? We all have those people that we avoid because of situations like that. So how are you going to stand out? How is your conversation going to get better? And here's the deal. Most people don't know or don't think about how long this should take. You want to speed up this process? You want to get better at conversations and make more sales? Have more conversations. Screw it up more, right? Fail forward. Figure out, I always know that I've lost a sale if I pushed it. If I pushed it because it's month's end or we have a promotion going on and I've harassed somebody for one too many times and not taken the time to ask them how their day was, check their Facebook page and see if anything is crazy is going on in their life, right? Like, take the extra 2 minutes to check in on people before you message them. See what's going on in their life, right? Take that extra step because it will separate you from everyone else who's copying, pasting a script message that feels quite slimy to them because it's not in their words, right? So you have to learn how to be a conversationalist. You have to learn how to talk to people, how to put them first, how to get information about, or how to get information out of them so that you can provide them with a solution to what they're going through right now. And if what you have is something they don't need right now, then wait on it or ask for a referral, right? I think all good people should meet good people, and referral business, when you get referred somebody, that's usually the best business to do because like-minded people refer like-minded people. So I hope that that helps. I really wanted to bring storytelling into your conversation because it's easier to talk about other people and their stories than it is to try and sell yourself, right? So if you can learn how to have better conversations, ask better questions, have more in depth, right? Wouldn't it be cool to just have customers or team members that are just like you? That you guys have great conversations, like you'd actually want to hang out with them on the weekend? Guess what? It's your job to go out and find those people. It doesn't have to be everyone. Your product or service is not for everyone. It's all about having conversations and figuring out who fits the bill, funneling people from here to there. Maybe they're going to be a customer. Maybe they're going to be somebody that works on your team. Maybe you're going to consult for them later on down the line. What do you have to offer once you know what somebody else needs? If you can master the art of conversation and how to be a really great storyteller, how you sell will change and it will never feel slimy. How you sell will never feel slimy to the other person. You know, that was a lesson that I learned from Larry and Taylor Thompson that really changed the game. Every time you talk to somebody, you want them to feel good about you. You want them to like you, right? In the conversation. You want them to feel good about themselves, right? You want to make sure that you're having solid conversations with people where they feel good about themselves and what you're talking to them about. Those are the three things. They need to feel good about you, they need to feel good about themselves, and what you're talking to them about. So let me ask you this. If you're in a health and wellness company and you're in weight loss, could you imagine going up to somebody and saying, which by the way was a script that somebody actually gave me, hey, do you or anybody you know want to lose weight? Could you imagine how well that conversation would go? Probably not very well, right? What if you got into a conversation about them, about their family and what this last year was like? Man, it's been crazy. I definitely know that I've had some adjustments. You know, I've not been eating as well or exercising as much. What about you? How did your life change this year? Do you have your kids at home with you? Do you have spare time? What are the things that have been difficult? What's the best thing that you overcame last year, right? Having different kinds of conversations to get enough information where you have a solution to the problem and can present that in a non-spammy, without backing them into a corner kind of way, right? Always giving them an out. Hey, are you open to some information? I think this might really help you. Like, now that I just heard your story, I think this might really help you. You're open to some information. If not, totally cool, but I just thought I'd throw it out there, right? So they don't feel like they're backed into a corner and they can't say no. Give them an out. Let them know. Once you learn how to have conversations like this and you have a toolbox full of things that you know how to say when they have an objection, because in sales, you are always going to get objections. It is a knee-jerk reaction. People say no, 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 no. Even if they mean yes, their first reaction is no. So do you have an educated roster of all of the things up here that you need to say when somebody has an objection to make them feel good and comfortable to continue talking to you, right? So many of us, we've gone to university or college and we've gotten a degree. We spent 4 years studying something, and then we go and get an underpaid job where we start at the bottom of the barrel and have to work our ways up, right? So what if you could change the conversation by being educated? Now, I have a list of books. One that will help you with your conversation skills. If you'd like that, please feel free to reach out to me. And 2 that will help you with your mindset if you're too scared or not confident enough to reach out to people yourself, right? If you want to get good at sales, you have to be good at reaching out to people. Like, how many of you guys have gotten a call from your auto dealership, right? They're offering you some service that is on discount today, but like an oil change or tire rotation, just to get you in there so that you can have a conversation, right? I still have a Google ad up for my salon, and I still get calls. Like, you still have to advertise, you still have to talk to people. And it's been 4 years since I did any hair, and I still get calls, right? Katie, shoot me a private message and I will send you that list of books. And it's a great list. I've gone through all of them. But it's time that we start talking about this. Like, stop winging it and start getting an education on this kind of stuff. Because once you sit there like you were in a class and take notes, you know what to say when somebody says, I don't have time, I don't have money. Does it really work? I got to ask my husband. I'm not sure, right? You'll know exactly what to say. I just want to try it first before I start the business, or I just want to see what my friends think, right? You have to know what to say when that happens. Or now it's just really not a good time. Like, it's not a good time for me. Do you know? I know exactly what to say when somebody says that to me, because I educated myself to get there. Because I did the homework, because I did the work, because I took the books or the podcast or the online course, right? And I sat there and I wrote notes. I figured out how to do it. And then I started applying right away. If you continue to educate yourself and don't take action and don't apply, it doesn't do you any good. But the best thing that you can do, learn yourself, apply it right away to take action and start it as a new habit, but then teach it. Learn it well enough to teach it to somebody else, because then all of a sudden you're of value to more people. And when you know it well enough to teach it to somebody else, right? What I don't want is to be the person that everybody comes to when they don't know what to say. I want to teach you the concepts so you understand how to move through, or else 5 years from now, you're going to still be asking me what to say when somebody says something to you and you're not sure. So I want to educate you. I want you to take the time to learn the skills, right? Instead of trying to skip the line, instead of wanting to say the perfect thing, I want you to have more conversations. I want you to learn in your conversations. If you mess it up, you either win or you learn. Right? There's no losing. You either win or you learn. And even if you feel like you lose because somebody said no or they're not ready right now, no is never forever, right? 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, something may shift and change in their lifestyle. And now you are somebody that has been showing up consistently and they want to have a conversation with you because they're ready for you now. That was me. I said no for 2 years to this online business because I didn't have any experience or skill set or education. I counted myself out. I thought, I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm not smart enough. Until I hit a moment in my life that it was either go back to something that I didn't want to do or try this and try something new. If this was the answer to my prayers, to staying home with my family, to creating an income that was bigger than I could before because I could leverage my time, that would give me more time freedom to spend with my daughter, to pick her up from school, to drop her off, to go on field trips, not that that's happening this year, to on the days that she doesn't feel like going to school, to be like, hey kid, what's going on? Like, let's go for lunch. Let's go for a hike. Let's talk about it. I have freedom that I never would have had before, but the timing wasn't right when people kept asking me. They kept asking over and over again, and the timing wasn't right. And so I just said politely no, politely no, politely no, before I even knew what they were offering me. Right? How many people have said no that are watching this video and still have no idea what they said no to? So often, if people say no to me and they haven't even asked me what I do, they have no idea what I do, I'll say, hey, all good. I totally believe in life timing, and this might not be your time. But if 6 months from now, things shift and change, I would like you to have absolute clarity on what you're saying no to, right? I want to make sure you understand what I'm offering you so that the tides change, you have options. And that's all that matters. And hey, it might not be my business, it might not be what I'm into, but at least you're taking a look and starting to go down the path of how you can change the way that things are so that you can make more money, so that you can live a healthier life, so that you can do something different. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I would love to help you, right? At some point in time. So when you have a roster of those things, I don't even have to think. When somebody says something to me, I can respond because I've practiced what to say, or I'm expecting the objection. I expect objections all the time. And so when you learn how to talk to people, when you learn how to converse, when you learn how to share stories, you'll come up against less rejection, less objection, and you'll learn how to move people through and ask the right questions to get the response that you want. And the response that benefits them, right? I want to make sure they're educated enough that they have enough information to make an informed choice. People say no all the time because they don't have an education behind them. They don't know what they're saying no to. So I hope that helps. Become a conversationalist and study other really great conversationalists. Study people who you love listening to, who you love communicating with, who make you feel good every time you talk to them. Study those people, get around those people more, and learn how they speak to others. Learn how they bring up conversation to the server at lunch, right? Learn how they ask them questions to see if they're a good fit, right? I hope that helps. Hope you have an amazing day. If you have any questions, or you would like the list of that book because you would like to refine your skills on conversations and storytelling, shoot me a message and I'm happy to give you the list because I think you'll find it really helpful. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.